Okay, so have you ever walked into like a broker's office
Mm-hmm.
and it's all like glass and chrome and you suddenly feel
Yeah.
totally out of your depth?
Like you don't belong there.
Yeah, you're just like, wait,
Oh,
I don't even know what questions to ask.
yeah, and they're like throwing out all these terms that you're like,
I know. And I feel like I need an MBA to even like
right,
understand what they're saying.
absolutely.
But in this deep dive, we're going to try to decode all this stuff
Yeah,
about how to communicate with brokers.
wonderful.
I have some notes here that you gave me,
Hmm.
and hopefully we can make this fun.
Yes,
You
definitely.
can actually enjoy those conversations.
Absolutely, because it's so important to be able to communicate effectively with your broker.
Right.
It's the bedrock of any successful journey that you're going to take with your finances.
Totally. And I think that's a good point.
Yeah.
It's not just about understanding what they're saying.
Right.
It's about actually like,
It's about building a partnership.
yeah,
That's really what it's all about.
where you're both,
You're both working towards a common goal.
yeah, you're on the same side.
Absolutely.
So let's just imagine for a second.
Okay.
Walk into your broker's office. The broker's like,
Uh-huh.
oh, yeah. So, expense ratios
Mhm.
and passive investing.
Right.
And they're just saying it so casually,
Right.
as if they were talking about the weather.
Like they're ordering a coffee.
Yeah, and you're just sitting there smiling and
You
nodding.
have no idea what they're talking about.
And you're like, yeah, great.
Expense ratio.
Passive investing. I should know this.
Yeah, like what is that?
Right.
And it can get so murky.
That is a perfect example
Yeah.
of where things can get so murky. So let's break down a couple of those things that you just mentioned.
Yeah, okay, let's do it.
So expense ratios, those are basically fees
Okay.
that you pay to own a particular investment,
Got it.
like a mutual fund or an ETF.
Mm-hmm. And passive investing, that means you're tracking a specific market index rather than trying to beat the market.
I see.
Okay, so those are both really important things to understand
They are.
if you're going to be making investment decisions.
Yeah. So it's good to know those going in.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think what's important here is,
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to ask.
Yes.
Like, even if it seems basic.
Even if it seems like, oh my gosh, I should know this.
Yeah.
Ask, because chances are there are other people in the room or other people listening that have
Absolutely.
that same question.
Or even just for yourself. It's
Absolutely.
like, why should you feel embarrassed
Exactly.
to ask for clarification?
And plus, it shows the broker that you're really engaged.
Yes.
You know you're serious about your finances and you're not just nodding your head and saying yes to everything.
Totally. And it's kind of like,
It's like going to the doctor.
yes.
If you went to your doctor and they
Yeah.
were describing some complicated medical procedure to you, you wouldn't just sit there and say, yeah, okay, sounds good. When can we do it?
Exactly.
You would ask clarifying questions
Totally.
because you deserve to know.
You want to know what's going on with your body.
Absolutely.
It's your money.
This is your money and your future
It's your future.
on the line here. So don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah. Don't just like blindly trust somebody
Right.
just because they're an expert.
Absolutely. And remember, brokers are not financial superheroes.
Right. They're not.
They're not going to be able to predict the future
Yeah. Or guarantee that.
or guarantee you any sort of return.
You're going to make a certain amount of money.
It's more like they can help you build a portfolio that's diversified
Yes.
and in line with your risk tolerance.
Right.
But ultimately, we all know the market is unpredictable.
Totally. And I think that brings up the point
Yes.
of like setting realistic expectations.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What do you want to get out of this relationship?
Yeah.
What do you want to get out of this meeting with your broker?
Totally.
Think of your broker as like a financial navigator.
I like that.
They can chart the course.
Mhm.
They can help you understand the terrain. They can steer you away from potential hazards,
Mm-hmm.
but they can't control the weather.
They can't control the weather.
Right.
Yeah. And, they can't control
Yeah.
like a global pandemic.
Right. Exactly. Something totally unforeseen.
Yeah. So before you even go in there,
Yes.
you should have your own roadmap ready.
Absolutely.
Like, what are your goals?
What are your financial goals? What guidance are you looking for?
Yeah. Do you want to focus on retirement planning,
Right.
real estate investing,
Do you want to just dabble in a little bit of everything?
or something completely different?
Yeah. Or maybe you have a very specific goal in mind.
Totally.
Like you want save for down payment on a house,
Yeah.
whatever it is, have that clear vision.
Yeah.
Because that's going to help you have a much more productive conversation.
Totally.
And then they can tailor their advice and their recommendations
To what you actually need.
to what you actually need.
Yeah. And I think that's super key.
Absolutely.
So don't forget about preparation.
Yes, preparation is key.
So important, like write down some questions beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are the fees associated with this investment?
Yes, that's a great question.
What's your strategy for managing risk?
Absolutely.
How do you handle communication and reporting?
How often will I hear from you?
Yeah, am I going to get like monthly statements?
Right, exactly.
Am I only going to hear from you when you want to sell me something?
Exactly. Are you going to reach out to me just to check in and see how I'm doing?
Yeah, how often are we going to be communicating?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are good questions.
And I would add to that a couple other questions.
Okay.
Can you explain your investment philosophy?
Ooh, that's a good one.
What is your overall strategy?
Yeah,
And how will we measure the success of my portfolio?
I like that.
Because it's not just about
Yeah.
making money, it's about making sure that your money is working for you
In the right ways.
in the right ways and that you're comfortable with the level of risk that you're taking on.
Totally.
Yeah.
So really, when it comes down to it,
Yeah.
successful communication with your broker
It boils down to a few key things.
is just clarity
Preparation.
and setting realistic expectations.
Absolutely.
And it's a two-way street.
It is a two-way street.
It's not just them talking at you.
It should feel like a partnership.
Yeah, you should feel like you're both on the same side,
Absolutely.
working towards the same goal.
Exactly. And as you prepare to meet with your broker,
Yeah.
I want you to think about what are your biggest anxieties or concerns
Ooh, that's good. Yeah.
about this conversation. What are you most worried about?
Yeah. What's keeping you up at night?
And once you identify what those anxieties are,
Yeah.
you can start addressing them.
By using all this stuff.
Exactly, by
Oh.
using the tips and the advice that we've talked about today.
Yeah, and I think that's really what it comes down to.
Remember, knowledge is power.
Yes.
The more informed you are.
The more confident you'll feel navigating this world.
The world of finance.
Of finance, exactly.
So good.
Good luck out there.
Thanks for joining us from this deep dive.
Absolutely, and we'll see you next time.
Bye. Bye.